Okay. So I'm doing a research project, and it is on Nigerian culture. It's about a week long. Some of you already know this because we watched my unit rationale. But, okay, I'm sorry. I feel like I wrote all of these notes down, and so I might be a little all over the place because I kind of wrote paragraphs for myself rather than a couple points. Okay, week-long unit. It is prepping them for things fall apart, and if you haven't read Things Fall Apart, like me, recently, I didn't know this, but it is completely, it's Africa in like the 1900s, so it is just enriched with Nigerian culture. The main character's names are Kankwo. It's, there's a lot of, words and references that are confusing, like they have multiple wives, things like that we don't see as much. And so this project was to prepare students for some of these things. So a lot of them got to choose their own topics in relation to Nigerian culture, and they studied those based on, some of them did based on the past, some did based on the present. Either way, what we really wanted to do is just showcase Nigerian culture as a whole and give them kind of a big picture idea for what that's going to look like, so when they enter into Things Fall Apart, they're not just like, I have no idea, because all the names are, they're unfamiliar, and everything, all these words are unfamiliar, so we really wanted to unpack that a little bit for students, figure out why it is that they eat, like, their main food is yams and all of these things. So that was our reasoning behind doing this with students. And then I separated it out. So as far as Springboard, I don't know who's familiar with that, but as far as Springboard is concerned, this is a part of Things Fall Apart. But Springboard also included a lot of strange activities, and it was while they were reading Things Fall Apart, they were also doing this research project, and I wanted to separate that out so that they do this research project prior to reading it, so as they're going in, they have a better understanding of what they're going to be seeing and just the different things they're going to be encountering. So that was a big thing behind why it's its own kind of mini. It's about a week long. Really, that's just to get them going. They present probably within the second week. It took actually like 4 days for everyone to present, just with absences and things like that. All right, so classroom information. Students are in 10th grade. I actually chose to talk about the class that I'm using for EdTPA. So it's sophomore English class. It's at Jackson High School, which is in Mill Creek. It's in the Everett School District, though. There are approximately 14 girls, 8 boys in the class. It's a small class. What I'm really surprised about is we have one female student. She's African American. She happens to be the only student who is who kind of has any, like, she doesn't have an IEP or 504, but she's in transition, so she doesn't have a steady home that she's staying at. And so the reason I say I'm surprised is because it says that approximately 45.9% of students at Jackson are on free and reduced lunch. That's almost half, but I feel like that's kind of, they try and hide it. I don't know why or how that comes about, but it seems like the students who are a little more wealthier, their parents do have a little more, maybe their parents are lawyers or things like that, they're showcased a lot more. So for me, looking at this, like, none of the students in this class that I know of, besides Destiny, are on free and reduced lunch. And I don't know, it's just a really interesting concept to me. I took it off of OSPI's website, or their school report. So yeah, students for low socioeconomic status are kind of hidden and off to the side, which my mentor teacher had talked about previously before I got started there, but I had no idea how big the numbers were. Because wasn't it, Chris, you were saying 25% is poverty? Is that what we were talking about? Yeah, so, half the school. So I don't know, it's just really interesting dynamics that I thought I would point out. Okay, our learning goal for the unit is I can research a specific topic that relates to Nigerian culture, evaluate the credibility of my sources, and synthesize my 5 sources into a Prezi account to develop a deeper understanding of another culture. boom, that's pretty long. I chose two main Common Core state standards that they addressed for speaking and listening, which is integrating multiple sources of information and evaluating the credibility and accuracy of each source, and then making strategic use of digital media by having them utilize Prezi and things like that. Again, that was something, this unit was set up by my mentor teacher, so some of these gateway activities that I've done are tweaks of my own in this, but I think Prezi is a good way to expand students' understanding. So many of them are used to PowerPoint, and that's their main goal. So getting them out and exploring something else kind of heightens that technological aspect and just gets them out there for things that they're probably going to experience in college. Okay, so students' progress or their understandings may be assessed through their 5 credibility sheets, which I did not bring, but I thought I had it with me. But basically, it's they're handed 5 sheets that have a list of questions on the left-hand side and then space to write their answers on the right-hand side. Questions including things like, what is the URL? Are they trying to sell you something? Very generic questions. Who's the author was probably the hardest one for students to find, but it's a great question for actually evaluating whether this is a credible source. I had a lot of students try and argue why Wikipedia was a credible source, and I was like, why don't you go to Wikipedia and then use their references that they provide as your sources? So it was an interesting conversation, but it definitely sparked some critical thinking. And then they'll also be assessed in their overall Prezi presentations. So standing up there presenting to the class, we do it not only on the fact that they have 5 slides and that they demonstrate that they've researched this topic and they are kind of masters or experts of it now, but also on their eye contact, how they have command of the classroom, and whether they're kind of standing up there like talking like this, or anything like that. So they're assessed on kind of multiple things, but their overall Prezi presentations are the main kind of like summative assessment. Is that right? I can't remember. Their main assessment for the student. Okay. And then they're also going to be taking notes or kind of reflecting on their own Prezis as well as their classmates' presentations. So at the end of all of this, we kind of, we not only have them assess or take notes on their classmates' presentations, but also have them kind of give us a feel of Nigeria as a whole. So they're not only talking about their own topics, but what they learned from others and kind of how they're viewing Nigeria as they head into things fall apart. So students need to be able to synthesize their information for their presentations and utilize their critical thinking skills to evaluate the credibility of their sources. I'm expecting, that's kind of my assumption, that they're going to come in knowing how to do these 2 things, how to use critical thinking skills and how to synthesize their information. Some of them have done research projects in the past, so they've been able to take multiple sources of information and compile those, and some of them also, and every one of them has utilized critical thinking skills either in our reading or past papers they've written. But by the end of the unit, students will be able to determine the credibility of an online source, which is totally valuable when they enter college or even just their later years of high school. No longer turning in that random blog that they found that's just crazy information. So having them being able to identify different components of a credible source and then use that information later on in life is kind of my big thing, that they'll walk away, not just, oh yeah, I finished that assignment, let me just move on, but that they've spent so much time evaluating the credibility, they can continue doing that. Utilizing digital resources, and then presenting just a deeper understanding of Nigerian culture as a whole. So that's a big part of the unit and why we're doing it, because Things Fall Apart is so enriched with culture and just traditions and rituals. I want them to have a deeper understanding of that before they start reading. Again, prior knowledge, so they've conducted research projects in the past. They'll be able to articulate multiple sources, utilize the reader response theory to engage with the gateway activity, which is coming up. Utilize their active listening skills to reflect on classmates' presentations, and then learn to evaluate